Good morning, friends. I'm so glad you guys could join me today. My name is Uncle Corey, and I'm here to talk to you guys about Hawaiian stream animals. How many of you guys have ever been to a stream before? Can you guys raise your hand? I'm sure you guys all have, whether it's maybe near the park by your house or maybe when you're driving over a bridge. I get to see a lot of streams as a part of my job because I am a stream scientist, one that goes to streams and not only studies the water, but I also study what lives in it, like this animal right here. So let's talk a little bit more about our Hawaiian stream animals, the one that live in our streams in Hawaii. Even if you haven't seen a stream before, you might have heard of things called waterfalls, might have heard of valleys before, and I'm pretty sure you guys heard of the ocean. So these are some of the things you might recognize in this photo right here. There are also a bunch of Hawaiian stream animals that are swimming around in this picture as well. Let's learn a little bit about the lives of these animals here. Our Hawaiian stream animals, they don't only live in streams, they also live in the ocean too, but they do it at different part of their lives. So the older animals live in streams, in fresh water. We can see some adults and some teenagers down here, or when they're old enough to have babies, they will lay eggs, just like how many fish do, and those eggs will hatch into babies and become something called plankton, these teeny tiny animals floating around in the ocean. They will do this for many months at a time, and that's a really long time to be floating around in the ocean being so small, but they will come back to fresh water when they're about your age, maybe when they're children or when they're keiki, and they will go up the stream, up into the mountains. Let's learn about who our fishy friends are that live in both our freshwater streams and in the saltwater in the ocean that have that special kind of life we just talked about. So here are our fishy friends that we call oopu. Can you guys say oopu? Can you say it one more time? Oopu. Fantastic, guys. We have 5 different types of oopu that live in our streams. The first one that we're going to be talking about is oopu alamo'o. Can you guys say oopu alamo'o? I know it's a little bit of a tongue twister, but you guys are doing a great job. Fantastic. We also have another oopu, number 2, oopu no pili. One more time. Oopu no pili. Fantastic, guys. We're going to go through our third oopu, number 3, oopu nakea. Oopu nakea. Good job, guys. Our fourth oopu is oopu naniha. Oh, one more time. I didn't hear you guys. Say it a little louder. Oopu naniha. The fifth oopu that we have here is oopu akupa. You guys say it again? Oopu akupa. Fantastic, guys. We have other special animals where they live in streams for part of their life, and they also live in the ocean for another part of their life. 2 of these animals are shrimp, and in Hawaiian, we call them opai. One more time, opai. Fantastic. The first of the 2 opai is opai kalaole. Can you guys say opai kalaole? One more time, opai kalaole. Fantastic, guys. The next type of opai, number 2, is opai oeha'a. I know that was a little hard to say. Let's try it one more time. Opai oeha'a. Fantastic, guys. We also have 2 different types of snails that live in our streams that have that really special life where they live in fresh water in our streams when they're older, and they live in the ocean in another part of their life when they're babies. The first type of snail we're going to talk about is hihivai. Can you guys say hihivai? Fantastic, guys. The other type of snail that we're going to talk about is Hopavai. One more time. Hopavai. Fantastic, guys. So you guys just learned about two snails. Do you remember how many opai live in our stream? There's supposed to be two opai. How many oopu or fish live in our stream? There should be, what was it? Five oopu that live in our stream. So another really cool thing about these Hawaiian stream animals, besides living in a freshwater stream for part of their life and in the ocean where there's salt water for part of their life, they also have this ability to climb. And you can see that these animals are outside of the water right now, and it's really hard to tell what they're doing. It just looks like they're in the air. That's because they're trying to climb up around this big waterfall you might see right here. And this is a pretty big waterfall. It's about 300 feet tall, which is taller than some of the tallest buildings you might see in Hawaii. So these waterfalls are pretty hard for stream animals like fish to get up, but it's really cool because these animals can climb. They have really strong grip, especially this shrimp. It's a great climber. This snail, it has a really sticky foot that helps it climb up around the sides of the waterfall. They don't climb up the center of the waterfall because all that water might push them down and knock them off the waterfall. And they don't want that to happen, and neither do we. But what about fish? How might they climb up these waterfalls? Well, let's investigate. But we can see that this oopu here, he is outside of the water right now, trying to climb around the side of a waterfall with a special adaptation on the bottom of its body called a suction cup. This suction cup on the bottom of its body, like this upside down fish that I'm holding in my hands right here, that you can see it. It's just really round shaped and it allows them to stick to surfaces, just like this oopu alamo'o right here. It is climbing around the side of a waterfall, and you can see that that special fin that I just talked about allows it to stick, and it can squirm its way up and then use its fins to push itself up to get around this really, really tall waterfall. And then when it gets to the top, it can go back in the stream. Sometimes other types of opu might use their other body parts that you might have seen besides their fin. It can use its upper lip to help pull itself up, and it might use its tail too. You can see this one was squirming its way around the waterfall too.